Hi. Well, today I want to talk about my experiences with Kum Nye, or with basically being taught Kum Nye. Basically, I was quite an alternative character when I was a young man, but had no background in Buddhism or meditation. Um, but I became very interested in psychotherapy. And I think particularly in practices such as Reiki psychotherapy. There was Primal Scream, that was very popular. We're talking late 80s, essentially. And, I think it was 1990 I learned about bioenergetics, did an exercise called the bow, and through that learned about involuntary movement and the power that involuntary movements can produce. And certainly in the exercise flying, which I'll link below, there's an example of involuntary movements. Anyway, I got involved in psychotherapy, and as I say, it's primarily a spiritual or Reikian approach. And not so much Jungian, though I tremendously respect Jung. And I ended up getting involved in what's called core process psychotherapy, which is a Buddhist-based psychotherapy. I did an introductory course for 6 months, and then I waited a year, and then beginning 93, I began to do a 3-year full-on training in core process psychotherapy. However, I abandoned it after 2 years because I decided I didn't want to be a psychotherapist. That was a good decision, I think, and what I wanted to focus on is Kum Nye, because Kum Nye was taught at the Karuna Institute. We basically would go there like one weekend a month, and then we'd have like 5 day. Once a year we'd have like 5 days, or one. In the initial course was it was the same length really. It was 6 months and one 5-day session, and the others just weekends. But like if we were doing a weekend session, then we would do Kum Nye on the Saturday and Sunday morning. So, and we were also being taught Buddhism and meditation. So in fact I learned to practice meditation at the same time as I learned to practice Kum Nye. And it was brand new to all of us. Our teacher was Maura Sills. While with the 3-year course, I spent the first of those 3 years being trained by Franklin Sills, so I know both the Sills. I would say my primary Kum Nye teacher was Maura Sills. As far as I'm aware, she's still doing it. I know the Karuna Institute still exists, so it's now in Bristol rather than in Devon. It was on Dartmoor, a very lovely place. Anyway, so that's where I learnt to do Kum Nye. I mean, flying was one of the exercises I learnt to do, and a whole load of other exercises. The other exercise I've shared here so far is loosening up the self-image. That's actually the only exercise that I learnt from the Tarthang Tulku books. He wrote 2 books, which were like course books for the course, textbooks for the course, so that I read them, and I know there are other aspects to Kum Nye, such as a massage, and what Tarthang Tulku later released was stuff about Kum Nye dancing. I haven't really done much of the massage, I have to say, or nor was I taught it. But the Kum Nye dancing, looking at videos on YouTube, looks very interesting. The thing with Kum Nye, what was I taught? I was taught you have to do the exercises as slowly as possible. The slower the better. Obviously, you focus on the sensation, whatever those sensations are. Sometimes those sensations are uncomfortable, painful. Though I have to say, in 35 years of practicing Kum Nye, I've never been damaged. not once has my body been damaged. Yes, I've experienced agony while doing Kum Nye, but as soon as the exercise is over, the pain passes. And often the pain is really helpful for strength building, as is the case with flying. So yes, I was very, very impressed with Kum Nye right from the start. I think they used to do like a yearly Kum Nye retreat as well that was open to everybody, not just to the students. And that was like 3 nights, I think, or possibly 4 nights. And it was very much a mixture of doing Kum Nye and meditation. It was certainly the first time I'd been on a retreat, though I did go on to more retreats without movement practice by Kitty Saro and his wife. I can't remember her name. Anyway, I know they're still practicing. He went and became a Buddhist monk in Thailand. Whereas the Sills, or Maura Sills, is from Scotland. But I know she practiced, well, I know she trained, she certainly trained to be a psychotherapist in, I think it was Essen in California. I think she may well have studied under Tulku himself. He came to California in 1971. He was 21 in 1939, no, or 18. And he finished his education as a Lama, and it was 1959 because he had to flee the Chinese, whatever, of Tibet. And he went to